Hey, Annie Guerin.
Hey, hey, can you hear me?
I can, but I'm looking not at your beautiful face. I'm looking at a picture of a water.
I know, I'm trying to get my video up.
She's doing her background.
There I am.
No, you're not.
Wait, I will be.
Hey, Sandy, I hope it's okay. I told my VA I want her to start sitting in on our team meetings because we go over so many good action items for her to
Sure.
jot down and awesome.
That's not what I wanted.
Yeah, because
There we go. Hi, people. Hi, Susan. Long time no see.
all right, a minute till countdown. How's everybody doing? Cool.
I think
Pam,
when
you're eating,
everybody's
driving,
15 minutes late
and
for that
attending the team meeting. That's
meeting.
multitasking at its best. Know what?
I think we might see a few people are just a couple minutes late because of that Jordan Myers thing with Rick Barb.
Good. Maybe they'll have some things to share. Yeah, because Barb Ulrich's not on here yet. Hi, Susan. So I miss your face in the office, ma'am, just so you know.
Well, now my car is in the shop. It is supposed to be done this week,
Mm.
so.
Yeah,
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, John. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Hi, everybody.
Good to see
Hi,
you.
John.
John's working on a for sale by owner listing. I know you're going to get it. Super exciting.
Thank you. Hopefully.
Yeah. Listen, they have no business being for sale by owner. They need all the buyers they can get, and we have the buyers on the MLS. So, Barb. Oh, she's connecting. She went to Jordan Myers' virtual listing presentation this morning, so I wanted to ask her about that too. Hey, Barb. How was Jordan's class?
I got multiple offers coming in and didn't even ever get on it. I tried it with the link, and then by the time you said copy and paste it, the stuff was coming in and I didn't even get on, but for a good reason.
Okay, well, we are trying to track down the recording because I know there were a couple of people that were not able to get on that want to see the recording. So we will try to track that down and post it out. So interesting that you are talking more about multiple offers. Our guest for today's team meeting canceled at the last minute, and so I sent a frantic email out to Annie and Justin and some other folks, and both Annie and Justin replied that they wanted to have a conversation with us because of the multiple offers situation and making sure that you're really prepared. So the topic has changed a little bit for today's meeting, but she's got some good stuff because I did read. So Redfin did a study around the country, and 74% of the listings were going multiple offers. So, 74%. And I'm going to tell you that probably the other 26% are overpriced, and that's why they're not getting multiple offers, right? If they were priced right, they'd be in that percentage too. It's the craziest thing ever. So yeah, so it is a hot topic, and we're going to cover that a little bit today. But Barb, do you have the listing on this one?
Yes.
And how many offers?
Right this minute, 2 written offers. It went on the MLS, not last night at 7 p.m., but about the night before. So it hasn't even been on 2 days yet. There's 2 written offers so far, and 1 more says it's coming in this afternoon. And yeah, and then there might be more. And I mean, it's you know, so it's priced right. I mean, it's priced right. So that's
And is your strategy when you get multiple offers, do you tend to, you know, or when you put it listing, do you tend to say we're going to wait 3 days before we look at all the offers? Do you put them in a spreadsheet for your seller? What's your strategy on that?
and of course it depends on the seller, but and what their preferences are. Yes, I always put it in a spreadsheet, and I'm starting that right now because I cannot function. How in the world could they, you know, keep it all straight? So yes, I do that, and then you know, I just try to provide feedback to the buyer's agents to allow as much time as possible for the seller response when it's just gone on the market so recently, because I really feel the best thing for the seller is to get all the way through at least one weekend. So, but you can't, you know, you don't always have that opportunity, and it depends on the seller how quickly they want, you know, they want to get things done. So
Awesome.
yeah, so that's
And I know Pam does a spreadsheet as well. And if you are a newer agent or an agent who hasn't been in this kind of a market where there are all those multiple offers and you want a copy of their spreadsheets to know what are the highlight points that they give to their sellers, I'm sure that they would share. So you can reach out to Barb or to Pam regarding that. It's exciting. We just have to get the word out that this is the market we're in and get more sellers to list. All right, I'm going to share my screen, and we all know it is a team meeting, and I'm going to jump right forward. We have a new sponsor, and I saw him on. I'm going to go back to screen, not screen sharing, so that we can see each other's faces. So welcome, Marcus.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got a little to learn about what it is that we can do for you. You're a custom home builder, is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And so we're Smith Custom Homes. My name is Marcus Smith. We are a custom builder in the Tampa Bay area. We build in Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough counties. And I actually have a short little presentation. If you don't mind, I'll go through that.
Yeah, is it about 5 or 10 minutes?
Yep, real quick.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, I'm going to burn through it so you guys can ask me some questions as well.
Perfect.
All right, hang on 1 second. And all right, everybody hear me okay?
We gotcha.
Yes.
All right, and you can see my screen?
Yep.
Excellent.
Beautiful
Okay.
house.
All right, I'm gonna go trying to get to full screen here. Oops, there we are. Perfect. All right, as I said, we are Smith Custom Homes. We are a local home builder here, custom home builder, and we have a very simple mission statement. You know, some companies, their mission statement is a whole paragraph, a whole page long. Ours is very, very simple. It's 1 sentence. We want to make sure that each of our customers feel like they're our only customer. Now, our customers are smart enough, and you guys know as well, that they're not their only customer, because we'd be out of business if we only had one customer. But it's a perception of customer service that we take it very seriously. We want to make sure that they feel that through the entire process of building their home. And there are 4 cornerstones by which we built our company. They are people, communication, quality, and process. I'm going to touch on each of those very, very quickly. They are equally as important, but of course, without people, we'd be nowhere. And so we have put together an amazing team. My dad and I here at the top are the business owners. We run the business, but these folks on our team help us tremendously. Our company is actually designed to be, small by design. We only build 12 to 24 custom homes a year, and that's on purpose. A lot of times builders will say, hey, I'm going to get in the business and we're going to build as many homes as I possibly can without a strategy in mind. And so we build our homes 12 to 24 every year so that we can make sure that we're paying attention to that mission statement. My dad and I together have nearly 70 years combined experience, but between our entire team, we have over 150 years experience. So experience tells you a lot about the company and what we do. The next cornerstone is communication. You guys are very familiar with communication. Our communication has changed tremendously over the last few months, but it's actually an area where a lot of builders will fall short. You know, again, because they focus a lot on the number of homes that they're building, they a lot of times will lose sight of communicating with their customer. And we've made the mistake too. So one of the things that we did to mitigate that was we have a customer portal. And within the customer portal, our customers can log into our website. There's even an app on their phone that they can, or excuse me, that they can download to their phone. And inside that app, they can see all their documentation, all their design selections. They can see the schedule up to a month in advance. But more importantly, wherever they are in the world, they can get updates every week on the progress of the home. So we give them progress reports on Monday and Friday of every week to let them know what's going on that week and what happened that week. In addition, they get progress photos each week to let them know what's going on with the home, so that whether they're at home or they're across the world, they can see what's going on. And we have built homes for people from California to DC to the Netherlands, and they've all used this program and actually love it. The next cornerstone is quality. Of course, quality is really very important. We want to make sure that we're building homes that stand the test of time. And so here's just a couple examples of things that we include in our home to make sure that they are built with quality products. First of all, we use a 3,000 PSI stem wall foundation versus a monolithic slab foundation. If you don't know what that is, I'm happy to explain it offline. We also use Icynene spray foam insulation instead of the old fiberglass or cellulose insulation. Makes a very energy efficient home, very energy efficient envelope. We use double pane low E vinyl windows, Rinnai tankless water heaters. All of our homes are smart homes. They actually have a brain that moves the home. If you want to do something like automation and everything like that, you can build something as robust as working with your Alexa or your Google Home. We include brick pavers in the driveway, walkways, and lanai. Again, because of a quality standpoint, we all know that crushed concrete, or excuse me, brushed concrete cracks. You've seen a driveway with brushed concrete, even if it's a month old, there's sometimes cracks in there. Brick pavers are far superior to that, because if they crack, you pull one out, you replace it very easily. We also include 8-foot solid core doors inside our home and 5 1/4 baseboards and crown molding inside our home as well. Cabinetry, of course, cabinetry is very important inside a home. It's not just for storage. It's a way for people to exude their personality within their home as far as colors and style. So we use Waypoint cabinetry. Now this is kind of what we include, but being a custom builder, they can choose really any line of cabinetry they want. But the reasons that we chose Waypoint is because it's made in America. It's an all wood box. It's not a plywood, or excuse me, it's not a particle board box. And it's got a full overlay door. That means that the doors come together completely like this. There's no filler in between those doors. They're also dovetail, full extension, soft close drawers and doors. So ladies, no more slamming the cabinet door when you get mad at your husband. 42-inch upper cabinets have the crown molding on top, as well as the light rail on the bottom. So if you want to use under cabinet lighting. And so they're a really great cabinet. And as I said, this is what we include if your customers wanted to upgrade to a different line or even downsize to a different line, then we give them an allowance that they can use for cabinets, flooring, wall tile, many different allowances that they can use. And if they spend more, they just pay the difference between the allowance and the total.
Hey, Marcus, you know, and these are really detailed pieces. And I think that we really do want to learn how we can serve you and to, you know, ask some questions. I even see some stuff already popping up in the chat. So the details about what goes into the kitchen, I don't necessarily think is as important to us as, you know, so if we could get into this conversation, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump wherever you want.
Yeah, and so Dan asks, is there a minimum and a maximum price point? And my other questions are around things like, does your person have to already own the lot, or, you know, like from a real estate sales standpoint,
Mhm.
you know, how are we connecting to even get you in front of our sellers so you can pitch your cabinets, right? That's,
Sure.
I want to go there.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm happy to jump to questions. Obviously, we want to make sure we maximize and respect your time as well. Yeah, in fact, Erin, my assistant, is on the call as well, and she was going to put up some things in the chat. We were going to include our current price sheet and specifications, as well as our brochure. So, Erin, if you can upload those, that would be excellent. To answer your question about pricing, we build homes basically from 2,000 square feet on up. We've built anywhere from 5,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet. So it really just depends on what you're looking for, but 2,000 is our minimum, and our prices start just below 400. Our smallest home is 2,100 square feet, and it starts at 391.
And our clients, they already own this lot and they're just looking for a particular custom builder to build on their current lot. How does that?
Yeah, so the best way to do that is if your customer already has a lot, or even if they don't have a lot, we can help you. We'll partner up with you to help them find the right lot for them. But if they already own a lot, then the best way to get in contact with us is go to our website. There's actually a designated realtor page on our website where you can register your customers, or your clients rather, and we can start the conversation there. Then what we would do is, and I'll use my my slide thing here again. What we do is, this is our pathway to your dream home. So really the first thing is gather some information about them. If they already have a lot, then what kind of home are they looking to build? Are we a good fit, first of all, just to make sure that we're within the price and size range? But then we'll set up a dream home consultation. That's a free consultation for you and your customers to come in and meet with us. And it's basically just having a conversation to see what they're looking for. What is their vision for their dream home? So we tell them a little bit about our company, like I've told you about today, but we spend most of that time on them. What does their dream home really look like? And if we are a good fit for them, then what we do is we come up with a conceptual floor plan. We price that plan out. We do an elevation. We do a full budget, and we go from there.
Awesome. And because that's the thing, right? So right now we're in such a market where there's no inventory. So I think for you guys as agents, this is best served in having a conversation when you meet with a buyer. If this is an option for them, you know, that this might be, because inventory is tight, you know, another route for them, right? And especially if, you know, they'll even help with the you know, finding of the lot, or you can actually then, you know, search for those lots and bring them back. So I think that that's exactly where I wanted to get to was, you know, how does that serve us as agents so that we can then bring you into the fold? So, you know, the actual, you know, specifics of the kitchen, not as big of a deal for the moment. We first have to go find the buyer that has an interest in new construction and have a conversation with them that, because the market's tight, we might have an alternative for them that another agent isn't bringing to the party. So I love this idea. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this information now is in the chat. Yeah, so there's downloads that are in the chat with that other information that Erin just posted. So that's awesome.
Yep.
Marcus, can I ask, I've heard people in the past throw around figures like it's $150 a square foot to build new, it's $200. Is there, I know there's no exact answer, but is there a ballpark figure that we could talk, just so we can think intelligently when we're talking with customers about tear downs or projects?
Yeah, of course. Now, you'll notice from our price sheet that we don't include site costs, because every lot is different, right? Whether you build in a community or you build on an acreage, site costs like removing trees, doesn't need a well, doesn't need a septic, those things aren't included. But just for the home, you can use an average of $175 a square foot for living space.
For living space.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Great. And then Anna had a question about, do you work with buyers who have their equity tied into their current home that needs to be sold? So they'll be homeless if they sell their current home, yet they want to work into getting into this new construction house.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have 4 preferred lenders that we work with on. Now we only do cash or construction loans. So we have 4 preferred lenders that do construction loans, and there's 2 of them that I can think of right now that have programs where you can pull the equity out of your current home, start the construction process, and then sell your home later, so you don't have to worry about that double move.
Awesome. Awesome. And then Lisa Pizzella, I think Lisa, you know, you don't have spec homes that are already built, correct?
That's correct. We do not.
Right. So no spec homes that are already built, you would then be looking to, yeah. And then how long is this process? If you had a buyer today that we could bring together with you and they could find a lot, how long are we looking before they actually are moving into their house?
Yeah, it's a great question. We actually split our timetable into 2 different cycles. One we call our soft cycle, which is design, engineering, and permitting. That's about 90 days. And then depending on the size of the home, you're talking about 9 to 12 months on actual construction. So we're anywhere from 12 to 15 months from today.
Awesome. Awesome. So again, you guys, I think this is a great conversation to have, right? So that we can offer this as an opportunity to buyers who are struggling to find their house or dream house now because of such tight inventory. So that's awesome. And contact information is going to be on the brochure that he put in the chat, or that Aaron put in the chat. So download that stuff or drag it over to your desktop, and then we also will have it for you after the meeting. But I so totally appreciate that, and I'm certain that Marcus would spend additional time one-on-one with you if you should choose to via Zoom.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so awesome. Thank you very much. Does anybody else have any other quick questions before we move forward?
Marcus, does that cover Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco
Yes, sir.
primarily?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to meet you. And I'm sure that you'll get some calls from some of the
Thank you.
agents with some additional questions, because
Awesome.
we
Thank you,
don't,
guys.
yeah, we haven't
Thank
had a
you.
relationship with a builder directly in our team meetings in a long time, or since I can recall. So thank you very much. That's a good opportunity.
Marcus, if you have anything
Yeah.
to send over to me that you would like the agents to have access to, you can email that to me as well.
You got it.
Thank you.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to run back over and screen share so that we can say happy birthday to Ashley McKenna and Bev Halderman. And then I want to bring back the DTD2. You know, I mentioned today in the huddle, and I'm going to mention it again because there are more of you on this call. Frank Ubaldini joined the Chris Suarez's group out of Portland, Oregon about 90 days ago. And so he's now a team member on that mega team, and they do about 2,000 units every single year. And Frank just finished what's known as his launch period, and he completed over 150 hours of lead generation, 3,000 calls, 1,000 conversations, and that led to what I learned today is 6 pending transactions and 3 listings taken. So 9 closings coming as a result of this 90-day period where he had 1,000 conversations and 150 hours of lead gen. And we talked about that today with Chris Rogers' team, because they're going to join him in his lead gen efforts from 9 to 11 on Zoom moving forward, because they want to hear him do his FSBO scripts. John, you should know about this too, because Frank's on there and he's going to do Mondays and Fridays are going to be FSBO days for him. And he said he performs better when he knows people are listening, because he really goes for the close because he knows that you're listening. So he appreciates it when people are listening, and you can learn some stuff. But what I learned was that although he's calling some FSBOs expired, some circle prospecting, that he is not at all ignoring his database and the DTD2s. He said that has been ridiculously impactful for him, because the whole purpose of circle prospecting is to get someone in the database. That person may not be in the market like a FSBO is today. So pitting somebody in the database from circle prospecting only pays off down the road if you do the DTD2 and continue to follow up with them quarterly and with your smart plans and all of that. So tremendous results. He's having a great success with this new team that he's joined, but I will tell you that he's still following the same models and systems that he did as a single agent. And so don't ignore your DTD2. That's my message. Market Watch. So here's what we talked about, right? 1,134 properties that were listed between 7/4 and 7/10. 1,759 went under contract and 990 actually closed and sold during that week. So, you know, it's really almost, you know, less than 35 or so percent new listings coming to the market at the pace that they're actually selling or going under contract. So it's still crazy seller's market, going to be the multiple offers. And that's why we're going to talk about that in a little bit with Annie. So here is our lore for the month of June, and Taylor's going to send this out so you can use this in your presentations too. This is what your sellers care about, right? Our listings are getting sold, our sales volume is up, and our closed units are up. And this is how our market center compares to the MLS. So when we're talking in a listing appointment, this isn't just, this is how we compare to the other folks in the industry. So they really need someone from our office representing them in this transaction because we are outpacing the market. So take those numbers if you don't have your own and use those on Facebook and out into your meetings. So this was an announcement. There were several announcements from Howard. This one is in reference to the .loop privacy policy. So everybody knows we're going to continue with .loop for a year. That doesn't mean that you're not going to use command and opportunities for compliance. So you can choose to use whatever e-signature program you want, .loop or DocuSign or another e-signature program. We don't care. Or get stuff wet signed and upload, right? That's the piece around the signatures. We're moving into command for our compliance. So you have to open any new listings or any new contracts. You need to open a opportunity in command and start there. As of today, anything that's not started and submitted for compliance through command is going to be kicked back, right? So you still get time to love on .loop because that's what we know and love, but we do have to get you transitioned into the opportunities. So if anybody is struggling with that, we still are doing 2 trainings a week or more on opportunities. And then you can also reach out to Taylor. We've got some people in the office that will help with some one-on-one if you run into a problem. But because we are going to continue to use .loop, it's owned by Zillow, and they have a new privacy policy that's going into effect this week on Thursday. And so you have to go to this .loop/privacy/policy, or you can do a email directly to support@.loop.com, and you are opting, you're out of affiliate sharing is what you're going to let them know, that you need to opt out of affiliate sharing so that they will not share your contact information with any of their third parties, including Zillow.
This is all in the agenda too, so you can copy and paste from the agenda.
But it's super important that you do that today, right? Because it's my understanding that they're actually going back several years to take your data. Right?
Yes,
so,
all the way to 2016, I believe.
Yep.
So if you don't opt out, they can go into your current .loop account and gather up all the information about your past buyers and sellers. And that's the data that they're trying to gather to make their algorithms and their platform, you know, smart. And we want to save that in our platform so that we're the ones that have that technology and that. So go in there and do that today. And if you've got any questions, the details are in your agenda. Dan Mack, I am so sorry because we don't, yeah, okay, jump in there, my friend. He's got so much good stuff to tell you guys. He needed like a half an hour. I'm like, no, we got Annie's coming. We got, so yeah, so here we are, half an hour in. Go ahead, my friend.
How long do we have?
So Annie, how long do you need, my love? Oh, you're muted.
I'm good with 15 minutes.
Okay, good. So then you've got 15, Dan.
Okay, perfect. So that's enough time.
All right, good.
So,
Are you going to screen share? You want me to stop screen sharing?
Yeah, I'm going to grab it from you in a second.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Let me pause this for a second. So first, I want to thank everybody for coming and let everybody know, again, even though we have .loop for a year, so we can ease the transition over to DocuSign, you still want to start using DocuSign as soon as possible and get out of .loop. Also, it's really easy to email support, and everybody, all 33 of us here, or 29 realtors, opt out right now. Just as soon as the meeting's over, just send the email. I opted out with both my email addresses. They responded within 12 hours and said, yep, no problem, you're done. So easy peasy. So we have that. What we are doing is, as of today, when everybody is starting any transaction, you're going to want to start it in Command. All compliance from today moving forward forever is going to go through Command. You can, as Sandy said, you can still use .loop if you want. I would recommend doing your next transaction in DocuSign just to start getting used to it. It's a lot easier. The clients like it so much better. I have never had a transaction with .loop that a client hasn't had me to walk them through some signing procedure. DocuSign gets signed super quick. And also, I want to point out, part of the reason we're leaving .loop is because of Zillow and the sharing of information. What we're doing by going into Command is creating our own AI and our own database. We're creating the database that is going to beat Zillow. We're going to beat the Zillow algorithm. As Ryan was actually talking to Gary Keller this week, and Gary said, maybe it's going to feel like a little bit of extra work entering all of that data that they're asking for when you're going through the process. What that's going to do is give us more data. And at the end of the day, possibly we have a lot of agents, maybe by the end of the year, sometime very soon, you're going to start entering that you're putting an offer in and you're putting $1,000 earnest money down. And it might say, if you up it to 1,500 or 2,500 or 10,000, your percent of going all the way to close is going to go up. Same thing with sales price. And on that note, one of the things with the Keller Mortgage is getting the appraisals. Just like why Zillow bought a mortgage company, same thing. They want to get the accurate of their estimate right on, and we want to know what houses are worth as much as possible. So same thing, keep entering all the data, and the more things we see closed, even without Keller Mortgage, the more things we see closed and have the addresses in Command, the more data we have about every single house that we sell as a company.
And that's, and that, you guys, it's so big, because if you could go to a listing appointment and say that you have a CMA based on appraisals and based on, some really different hardcore data that the other agents aren't going to have. I mean, this data is going to give us the ability to understand what marketing plans sell houses the quickest, and what the appraisal data, and it's just all the data is where they said the data is the new dollar in everything.
That's when we keep saying the fourth industrial revolution. It went from oil to now data we trade data. That's it.
That's it. And that's it. So, and our company is really focused on being sure that our agents win in the data war. And so we really want to use Command for everything, because we want to fuel and feed that data bank so that it can spit back out information to you to help you win with buyers and sellers. So it's in that roundabout way. It's really super important. It's not just about getting through compliance. It's about really keeping us at the front of the industry across the board.
Yeah.
Amazon and Snapchat, they had never had income coming in, revenue, but what their value was data.
Yep. 100% exactly. They didn't show a profit have they showed a profit yet? Like revenue wise? Yeah.
Amazon, but not Snapchat.
Yeah, not Snapchat. Same thing. Yeah, so that's the data. I had a great chat with compliance department yesterday. If you don't know them, I want everybody to go meet them. Okay, I'm not froze. We now have a Google number, I just learned. So we don't just have to communicate with them through the Command platform where you can send messages back and forth like we used to with .loop. They have a Google number, so you can call that number and one of them can pick up and answer any compliance questions that you have. There's also, they share an email address, so if you have any questions, you can shoot an email. I don't have it. It's at the top of our new roster under all the contacts for the company. So I'm sure we'll share that in an email, Facebook group. It's at the roster.
Yes. We'll share the roster again.
So I just grabbed a picture of it just so I had their Google number. So they will answer it if they're not. They're super busy. Obviously, they're dealing with 1,000 agents or more, or around 1,000, I think. So if they don't answer right away, try again. It took me 3 tries, and because Alice was on the call, but that's fine. And I want you all to know that they're doing a compliance cafe, I believe at 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock every Tuesday and every Thursday. So they're explaining how to get through compliance. So if you didn't make it to any of Andrew's training classes, they're walking everybody through it, and it's a very one-on-one kind of, they answer questions kind of situation. There was 6 people, 5 people in it. So I got all of my questions answered. So I want everybody to check that out on the calendar.
What's the days again? You said Tuesday.
Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock. And it's a Zoom meeting. All you do is click the link and pop right in, and Krista and Alice do it every Tuesday and Thursday.
Thank
And
you.
if you don't know them, definitely hop on and meet them. So we got the Compliance Cafe. I want to share, there's a couple things that I asked them what they want agents to know. So this is going to be a little bit like Inception for a second. So do you guys see my screen? Did it move you seeing my compliance here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to do my itty bitty listing here. So one of the things they want us to know is over here on the very top right, there's a timeline. So you can see out of all of your compliance or your commissions or your sales pipeline or however you want to refer to this, you can see every activity that ever happened in the transaction, all the way from literally the very first thing. It's going to keep going forever because I've been doing this for like a year, it feels like. Yep, all the way to, I created this on February 26th, then pipeline, I added it to the pipeline, I moved it back and forth all the way to when compliance gets involved, when you can see when they viewed it, when they started adding things, moving them around. So this is a very useful tool, and they wanted everyone to know about it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know why hers is asking for it. This is embedded, like, the password always-
I hear Sandy. So we're finding out what happens, just so everyone knows, because this has come up already a few times. If you have a buyer and you go under contract and the contract falls apart, I'm going to get back to you very soon on what you do with that opportunity. Just so we know, because half of us think you're supposed to archive it and half of us think it stays the same opportunity. So we'll find that out. Also, we're going to, this is returned. I'm going to go to a different file just so you can see. If you haven't been in opportunities yet, everyone's going to be starting their transactions in it, and it's actually really, really easy. So I have a buyer under contract in financing. So when you have all your documents uploaded and they're all in nifty order, and you go to your under contract folder, everything comes back beautifully color coded. So you can see how awesome you are when it's approved. There's a bright red when it's returned to you, and it turns purple once you've replaced it with the right document that they're asking for. And they can send messages through this little tab. So this is the old way where you had that little flag on .loop. I'm sure everybody's had their little notes for why it was returned in .loop. And then you just hit @ and it comes, oh, okay. Don't hit @ use the shift. Hit @ and it comes up with everybody's name. For our listings, for our office, I believe it's Alice that's handling it. Alice and Krista are the 2 main people, and then all the rest of these, I'm sure Sandy would love it if you tagged her for everything.
No,
Right,
no.
Do not tag Sandy with anything. She does not handle compliance. Tag Alice and tag Krista, and then you can send your messages to them. They'll send messages back. They let you know why anything was returned, and they're more than happy to explain that to you. We want the timeline.
I don't even know why I'm on that drop-down box. I shouldn't even be on there.
I don't know why you are, to be honest, just because you're the team.
Out.
I think we want to involve you in any compliance issues.
Oh, that's it's painful just thinking about it.
And one of the new things that we said is back with .loop, when you had an issue and it was returned to you and you resubmitted it, your file went to the bottom of the file. Now they have a separate file for resubmissions. So they're going to keep going through all the regular submissions in submitted order. They also every day are going to look at the resubmissions, because sometimes, like I have a closing on Friday that has been submitted and resubmitted and it's gone back and forth. They actually do speed those up a little bit. So thankfully we're not now at the bottom of 1,000 or 2,000 transactions. We are in the bottom of a much smaller pile when you resubmit.
And I'll tell you that compliance it's really nice. And Howard is come back with some fresh stuff to reinvigorate some of the things that worked in the past. And you know, and so they really are working to make sure that this is agent friendly, and they want to be on the team. And that's why he's saying jump on Zoom and meet Alice and meet Krista, so that if in other market centers, those people are in an office right down the hall, just like I am and MCA and Taylor, and they aren't because of the size of our company. So, you know, but treat them like they are our peeps, because they are our peeps, and they want to be included in the team, and they do want to know who you are, and they do want to help you to get your transactions through. It's not us
100%.
against them.
And just like when you submit an offer and you call the listing agent, or you get an offer from a buyer's agent and you talk to them, and I'm sure we all do that, and it helps you when you have a rapport with the listing agent. I'm going to just put it out there. There are people, build rapport with our compliance department. They're going to go out of their way to help you. They're going to give you a call instead of just returning it to you. They're great people. Just go in the compliance cafe, meet them, chat with them, have any questions that we have. They're happy to answer. They really want to answer questions instead of have to deal with it in the middle of a transaction. So yes, they are our people.
Yes.
I bet they like chocolate too.
I bet they do.
There is bribe ability. I'm certain of it. Whatever works for you, Garrett.
Joyce loved chocolate, so she got chocolate from G Money.
Yes, it's not bribery. It's just taking care of our people.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So just to kind of wrap up, the timeline we're at right now is we are using Command for all of our compliance right now. As of right now, it doesn't matter how you get the document signed, whether it's wet, whether it's Form Simplicity, whether it's and you manually upload, whether we are connected with .loop and DocuSign, whatever you're comfortable with, that's fine for the next year. Again, I recommend moving to .loop. So we're doing all compliance in Command. That means that you're going to get your DA and green sheet through Command. Actually, let me add one more thing. When we put our DAs in, just so you guys know, just as a little technical thing, our DAs and our green sheets are going to be in the closed file. I don't know if you can all see that. We have the beginning file, the under contract, and then the closed. The green sheet goes into the closed file, and that never actually gets submitted. All we're submitting is the under contract and the listing, if it's a listing. So that's just where you're going to pop your green sheet in, and when Cindy does the DA, that's going to also sit in here, down here, DA, just so we know where to look for. So that's compliance. You submit, it gets approved. Cindy gives us a DA, we send that to title, and we get paid, and that's beautiful. Soon, we're going to get rid of green sheets, and we're going to be moving to commissions. We have a month and a half. As of September 1st, we're going to be doing away with green sheets and doing commissions in compliance. I've already been playing with it a bit. You can do it, just don't submit it. If you just fill out your commissions for every transaction you have, it can go side by side with your green sheet for right now. It's a lot easier than a green sheet, and it does the math magically as you're typing. Training of that is going to start mid-August, so that's not a rush, no panic. All we're doing right now is worrying about compliance through Command and making everything easier.
The training is actually starting next week.
Oh, beautiful.
So we'll send out something to everybody. You'll all be updated on when it all is, but it's starting next week.
Perfect. And I imagine that what's going to happen is we're going to do a test group. I imagine that's going to actually go live with it and figure out any bugs, and then we're going to release it live to all of the rest of us. So next week. So we have plenty of time to get used to that as we're getting used to compliance through Command. And that's pretty much our quick compliance in Command technology update. Does anybody have any questions? Because I think I have a minute.
If there are no questions, I just want to.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
So if we started a transaction, a listing way back before Command in .loop, we do not change anything. We leave it in .loop, but for everything else that I've done since then, I started in Command.
That's an excellent question. And yes, if you started it in .loop, because I have some that I started a long time ago, that will finish in .loop. Don't move it to Command, just finish it in .loop. Anything that you start today and moving forward, you're going to do through Command. So very slowly they'll be getting rid of .loop. Our lovely compliance department, now that we have it for a year, is going to have an extra year of work keeping documents updated in both places, DocuSign and .loop. So they have a little extra work. But yeah, starting from today, it goes into Command. Anything that started before today finishes in .loop where it started. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, good question. So, so Dan has just stepped up and volunteered. He likes this technology piece. But you know, to be our tech ambassador for the office, and I just can't thank you enough. That is, it's a big job, I think, and I'm grateful for you for really digging deep into this and bringing it to us in these team meetings and otherwise. So I just appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. We all volunteer out of the goodness of our heart.
You know, and that's a KW culture thing. And you'll find, you know, that there's, you know, people that find what they want to master. Dan teaches this and is mastering it because he wants to master it for his own business. He said to me the other day, as dorky as he is, that opportunities was his favorite thing. And I was like, oh my goodness, kid.
I needed help with my sales pipeline. I was trying a million different ways because everybody has the whiteboard and all this different tracking stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how to track my clients. I don't know who's in my funnel. I don't know. And now I could visually see them. They're right there in my funnel.
Yeah. And so he loved this piece and grabbed in it because he wants to be really good at it, because he sees that this is going to help him grow his business, because this is where the business is, and what am I doing with these people, and how are they, you know, how are they responding, and when I do ads, and how many do I have in Cultivate, and am I going to run out of a pipeline and not have a good Christmas? You know, he wanted to try to figure all of that out without doing a whiteboard on the wall, and so he gravitated towards this piece so that he could master it. So if you are, you know, interested in something like that, too, pick it and master it and then teach it. And that's, yeah, thank you very much. All right, Miss Annie Guerin, we're just going to roll in and give it to you. Your PowerPoint is separate from our team meeting PowerPoint, so I'm not going to screen share. You can, or Taylor said she would help you because we couldn't embed it in my team meeting one.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. I'm opening it.
She's in her office, isn't she?
Yeah. Can you see this?
No, but Taylor's on her way down.
Right, there it is.
Then you are on the Zoom meeting.
There we go.
And then you can just
Scroll through it. Okay, thank you.
Start it, but that might be a little easier just to leave it like that and scroll down.
Now
Okay.
we can see it.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Hi, everybody. Good to see everybody, even though I can't see in person. So with the COVID, there's been some changes with respect to lending, and just we wanted to go over some of the tips that we have for making sure that you get the best possible offer, that your buyers are going to make it to the closing, and how to vet lenders. So we're still lending. Some lenders actually backed off for a while on doing government loans. We didn't. We are still in a point where we're doing down payment assistance loans. A lot of lenders have stopped doing those because it's a little expensive to keep them on your warehouse lines until you can get them sold to the investor. We still have not added any underwriting overlays, which is great. So some lenders have done that. So it's just something to be aware of. Lending changes that we've seen with respect to credit scores, there's been a little tightening. There's a little chart here about, you know, if you have an FHA loan with a debt to income ratio of 43, that you need a month's reserves. That's not always the case, but just know that there have been increases in minimum cash reserves after closing. And a lot of your first-time home buyers, this is going to affect them the most because they have the least money. But we're looking for all that up front. On the down payment assistance loans that we do through the state of Florida, any conventional loan with down payment assistance or a second mortgage, you now have to have at least a 700 credit score to get approved. So the program allows down to 640, but you're not going to get it approved unless they're at least 700. So just things to keep in mind. And if you had a borrower, maybe a buyer that was approved, 90 days ago, you need to check with the lender to make sure that they're still approved and that nothing's changed with respect to their income from COVID, if they've been furloughed or whatever. For self-employed buyers, oh, sorry, go ahead.
And that's the stuff that you want to share with the listing agent, right? Because when you're in a multiple offer situation, part of this conversation is around making this offer the strongest it can be. So you want to say to the listing agent, listen, I have talked to the lender. I know for a fact that my buyer's income has not changed in the last, week. Like you want to sell this buyer to the listing agent and why they want to take your offer. And this is the stuff that you need to do so that you can sell that through.
Exactly. With self-employed borrowers, we now need a year-to-date profit and loss and balance sheet and 2 months worth of business bank statements, because they want to make sure that even if they had a little dip due to a slowdown in business because of COVID, that they're back on track. We might have to use the lower income, but at least they can still qualify. And that's something you want to check, especially if you have self-employed buyers. Check with their lender. Are they up to date on their income documents? Because it's an ever-changing thing, and you don't want to get caught making an offer, everything's strong, and then find out, when they updated the P&L, there's a dip and maybe they don't qualify anymore. They need more down payment or what have you. So just something to be aware of. So if you're talking to your buyers about what they can do to minimize, to maximize their credit and minimize the effect on credit, a lot of lenders, mortgage lenders, credit card lenders, student loan lenders have put a moratorium or allowed borrowers not to make their full payments. And they are not reporting the borrower as late. However, the credit reports have built-in algorithms that know if they've made minimum payment or not. So I had a lady whose score dropped 30 points. She wasn't required to make her payments on her credit cards. So even though she had the money, she didn't make the payments because she didn't know where the future was going to take her. And it dropped her credit score 30 some points, and we had to wait for her to start making those payments again. If they can, tell them make the minimum payments. They can get a copy of their credit report for free by going to annualcreditreport.com. It's not a hit on their credit because it's their own inquiry, and each of the 3 bureaus has to provide a free one once a year. So it's just something to keep people aware of. Credit Karma's there, but it's just a general indicator of a direction. They don't show mortgage credit report scores. And just so you know, there are 8 or 9 credit scoring models. So there's consumer, credit cards, car loans, installment loans, mortgage loans, employment, background search. There's all different models, and mortgages are one of the strictest. So their Credit Karma might be 680, and their mortgage score might be 640.
So Annie,
yes.
Real quick, I know Credit Karma, I've already told people that it's not that accurate. So say my credit card gives me a FICO score. How accurate is that?
Those are usually pretty close to what we pull.
Okay.
So your Discover, your Capital One, whatever the major credit cards, when they give you a score, it's very close to what we see.
Yeah, and I think I have 2 that are exactly the same, and one is always a little bit different. So I think they pull slightly differently, but okay.
Yeah, and it probably depends on who they're reporting, which bureau they're reporting and which score, because each of the 3 bureaus, they have a scoring model that factors in about 35 different pieces of data. And so each one of them is weighted a little bit differently. That's why you have 3 different scores, or sometimes you have 2, but you have a different score with each bureau. This just we know interest rates are fabulous, and we think part of that was because of COVID-19. And at first they went up because there's a lot of people not making their mortgage payments. But right now we're back down to historical lows. So the best thing you can do to make your offer attractive, vet your lender. Like I said, make sure they've updated everything. Make sure you've talked to your buyer and they're not furloughed, or they haven't changed their employment status. And ask the lender, is their credit report still valid? Do they still qualify? Have you rerun DU? Do you have the updated documents? And when you can convey that to the listing agent, you're going to have a much stronger offer. You're going to say they're with Van Dyke Mortgage, the best mortgage company on the planet. They've been we've updated their documents, we've updated their employment, we talked to their employer, we know that we have a solid deal. Other things that you can do that you can always do that help build a strong buyer and strong offer is make sure that the buyers are getting their documents to their loan officer right away, because we have a lot of people that like to drag their feet. I know we ask for a lot of information and it's hard to find it. I could never find my social security card when I refinance. So just encourage them to get on the stick right away, get a loan commitment from your loan officer. Ordering the appraisal, you know, the appraisals are taking anywhere between 5 and 10 days. So when possible, let the loan officer order the appraisal even before you have your home inspection findings back, if your borrower can afford that. And we can also do a rush appraisal these days. So if that's going to make the difference, it's $200 more for the buyer, but it might, you know, save the deal if they need to close sooner. And remember, we are in hurricane season, so we always want to bind our insurance early. That's why I love working with Florida Best Quote, because they take care of all that for us. But just remind buyers that even though they're not closing for a while, we need the insurance. I like to tell people we need it 2 weeks before closing, because otherwise we could have a holdup doing our CD, and that's the last thing you want to do. Jumbo loans are kind of a thing of the past. There's a few lenders doing jumbo loans right now, but what we do for people that are in that price range where they need more than 510 in a first mortgage is we have a couple partners that do home equity loans that we can do a simultaneous close, and that's been very successful for us. Some of those home equity line lenders have tightened up on their loan to value, so they won't, like we used to be able to go to 90%, now we're down to 80%. So if you're in a jumbo position, the buyer is probably going to need to have at least 20% down. And I think, part of the presentation was, you know, checking and doing the care calls. Encourage, if you have buyers, or excuse me, past buyers in your database that are having trouble making their mortgage payment, encourage them to call the lender, stay in communication, don't bury their head in the sand, because in all likelihood, there's a way they can work it out and not lose their home. And especially these days when so many people have equity, you know, they could sell and then they can come back and buy from you later once they've, you know, gotten back to a normal working schedule. And I would say the only other thing that you need to warn them about is those murder hornets. Just make sure they don't get involved with those.
The what?
The murder hornets.
The murder hornets. Yeah, there's that. There's COVID.
There's that.
There's the murder hornets. Oh my gosh.
I do want to say thank you so much to everybody in this office for the support that you've given me and Van Dyke in general. We appreciate it more than you will ever know. And we're very, very grateful for our relationship with each and every one of you.
Yeah, and we appreciate you. Do you guys also see how the reverse of this vetting of the lender, if you have the buyer so that you can sell it through to the listing agent, in the reverse, as the listing agent, don't you want to dig deep when you're vetting the lender for the buyer that's coming to your seller? Because the last thing you want is to get under contract, you know, go through inspections and then have it fall out. And you've had 15 offers when you first went under contract, but now it goes back on the market, and you know the stigma it gets when that all starts to happen. You've lost your opportunity for your seller. So we should be doing these same things in reverse if we are the listing agent.
And I will say this, Anna Brumbaugh is expert at this. She is so good. Yeah, she is so good. So I'm always happy to help you, but she should probably do a class on it.
Oh,
about
there you go,
vetting lenders.
Yes, vetting lenders. Okay, Anna, you can do that too. Yeah, so good stuff. That's good stuff to know. And I think that, you know, we as buyers agents, if we're not asking all these questions and they've made the assumption that they're still good and something small to them has changed in their income or in something that's going on with them, you know, and then we get them through the inspections and have them spend the money, get the appraisal ordered, and then it falls out. We've done all of that work and cost them money, and then it falls apart. That's just a terrible feeling as well. So, you know, just making sure that this all still feels good to everybody, we have to be more diligent than ever at doing our homework, especially where the financing is concerned on both the seller and the buyer side. Does anybody have any other questions for Annie? And you guys, you know that she's always available, and this is, you know, part of that conversation always around, you know, even if you're not using her for your lender, she wants to earn your business. And so you can call her with questions regarding this stuff if you're confused or unsure. And I did get an email back.
I have one quick question.
Go ahead.
One quick question. So I saw a news story maybe a week or two ago about how Fair Isaac is coming up with a new credit reporting because everybody's furloughed, and they're putting their payments into forbearance. So they're coming up with a new one to sort of reflect their ability to repay. And they said, oh, lenders might be using that. How likely is that ever to happen, that lenders are going to use that?
I mean, it's a huge change, so it's possible, but I don't have any idea how long it would take.
Okay. It seemed completely out of left field. I was like, huh, really? But I figured I'd ask.
I mean, they should, because it's, you know, it's kind of unfair to tell people they don't have to make payments and then for it to trash their credit. But it's an unforeseen side effect of this whole virus thing.
And I don't know who's going to trust the new thing, because we've been using the regular FICO forever. How are you going to know how valid the new one is?
Right.
But,
yeah,
just a
but
thought.
times are changing, right? So this stuff will continue to evolve, and some of it will not go back. You know, we've talked about that in a lot of aspects of real estate and other things, you know, that will remain changed. And so you definitely need to have a strong lender partner in your arsenal of stuff. I did, when I sent the email out, I had copied Justin on it too, and he had replied back that that Van Dyke is saving more deals here in these last few weeks, that the other lenders didn't do the work up front, and now, you know, buyers are finding out bad news at the end of the day, and agents are coming in saying, can you guys save this for me? And in some instances they sure can, but you don't ever want to, that's being behind the 8 ball, right? And so we really want to stay at the front, so get the good lender on the front side. Anybody else have anything that they want to share? All right, so I appreciate all of you.
I got something.
Go ahead, Nikki.
I just wanted to thank Annie. I have a listing. We have both sides of this, and Annie is the lender. Not only has she just been right on top of everything, we were scheduled to close on the 28th. We're now even going to, she's able to close early on the 24th. She has just been awesome, awesome, awesome. And I love Annie Guerin.
Thank you. I love you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Anybody else have anything that they want to share?
Sandy, I have a buyer need within the next month.
All right.
It's for Clearwater. It's for a home up, single family home up to 400,000. He's looking for a pool and 3 to 4 bedrooms. He's coming in from Colorado.
Awesome. Anybody else? We are at time, but we can stay a minute or two. Does anybody have new listings that have not yet hit the market that we can share with our agents to secure buyers?
In the agenda, I put links for the coming soon form that we've discussed. We're slowly kind of rolling it out to see how everybody likes it. So you'll find those links in your agenda.
Well, that's a bigger deal than just a link in the agenda. What is up with you?
I made a slide in the presentation.
Oh, I skipped it because I just picked out the stuff. Okay, my bad. So that you guys, we really want to use this tool, right? And get all the market centers to use it, so that we are putting coming soons onto, you fill out the form and then it goes to a sheet, and then you get to see the whole sheet of what's coming soon, so that we can hopefully get your buyers in inventory that's not yet hit the market, and keep your sellers from having to do 900 showings with people that they don't want coming through their kitchens, right? So there's benefits to buyers and sellers for being on the Ubaldini Group 1100 agent hot sheet. And you're going to put on there your anticipated listing date, and we're actually going to monitor and delete stuff as the listing date comes up. So all you have to do is fill out the form with what you've got coming soon, and we'll monitor about keeping it up to date. And it really won't work unless we all add our coming soons, even if it's just for a couple of days, you know, during the time when you're getting photographs and things like that. Give us a heads up, because if we can get that sheet robust, then I really think it's going to be great for buyers and sellers and for our offices to use that tool as an individual listing and buyer's tool. Thanks for doing that too, Taylor. She really, yeah, technology is her thing, and she was able to figure out how to create this sheet and form so that you guys can't screw it up, because there was a conversation about if everybody has access to edit, what's that going to look like down the road? And she figured out how to make this all work out so that you can see everything but not edit it. So appreciate you. Thanks, and let me know if you guys have any other questions. We're here for you. We're in the office. It's nice to see Annie's face in the office today. Susan Sorensen, you're allowed to come back anytime you want. So many of the, Dennis, so many of the agents that have office space are coming in. Frank Ubaldini's taking Chris Rogers' old space and going to do live lead gen 9 to 11 from his office and then on Zoom with Joe. And we've got Chris's team that's going to be joining them too. He's going to do for sale by owners on Mondays and Fridays. So if you want to listen into his scripts so that you can, you know, hone your skills at that, please do. So let's all stay engaged in this business. I know it's been a tiring few months and it seems to be, you know, waning on a lot longer than we had expected or hoped it would. So, you know, just stay as a community and a group here in our office and stay connected. Appreciate you guys.